g of 2 equals 3 and g prime of 2 equals negative 4. Find f prime of 2 for the following. So let's start with A. So my derivative, the derivative of x squared is 2x. The derivative of g is g prime. So f prime of 2 would be 2 times 2. Everywhere I see an x, I'm substituting a 2. F prime of 2. So that would be 4 minus 4 and g prime of 2, which is negative 4. So we have 4 plus 16, or 20. Okay, for part B, we're going to have to use the quotient rule to find the derivative. So the derivative of u is 1. The derivative of v is g prime. So the quotient rule is the derivative of u times v minus the derivative of v times u all over v squared. So we're trying to find 2. So g of 2 is 3. X is 2. G prime of 2 is negative 4. And g of 2 is 3. I'm going to have 3 minus 8 over 9. That should be a positive, because negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. So we're going to have 11 over 9. For part C, we're going to have to use the chain rule, because we have g of x squared. So the derivative, bring the 2 on the outside, of g of x, subtract 1, times the derivative of the inside, which would be g prime. So f prime of 2 would be g of 2 times g prime of 2. So g of 2 is 3 and g prime of 2 is negative 4. So we have 6 times negative 4 for negative 24. Okay. For D, we have x sine of g of x. Remember that this whole thing is a function. It's not sine times g of x, it's sine of g of x. Since we have a product, we're going to have to use the product rule. Okay, so there's sine of g of x. So the derivative of u is 1. The derivative of v, derivative of sine, is cosine. And then we have to multiply that times the derivative of the inside. So the derivative of u times v plus the derivative of v times u. I'm going to multiply the x times g prime of x. Put that in the front times cosine of g of x. So we need to find it when x is 2. So everywhere I see an x, I'm going to substitute a 2. So g of 2 is 3, so we're going to have sine of 3. G prime of 2 is negative 4. And g of 2 is 3. So I'm going to have sine of 3 minus 8 cosine of 3. And that would be my derivative. For number 15, says let g of x be the limit at h goes to 0 of this for the value of x is g of x equals to 1. Okay, so this is one of the things that I told you. You have to understand that this is the definition of the limit or the definition of derivative. Remember the formula of the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. That means the derivative. So technically, g of x is your derivative. So the derivative is g of x. So I need to find the function, the original function, f of x. So my original function is x to the 6. So what this means right here, g of x equals to 0, sorry, to 1 means when does the derivative equal to 1? Because g of x is the derivative. So we're going to find the derivative. That's 6x to the 5th and set it equal to 1. Okay, so then we're going to take the 5th root of, that gives me x equals the 5th root of 1 over 6. Okay, 16, find the derivative of these three. So I can rewrite a as cosine 3t plus 5 to the 2nd power. So the derivative would be 2. We're using the chain rule. Everything on the inside stays exactly the same. Subtract 1, so I get to the 1st power, times the derivative of cosine. So derivative of cosine is negative sine. Again, everything stays the same. Times the derivative of the inside. And the derivative of 3t plus 5 is 3. So 2 times negative 1 times 3 will give me negative 6 cosine of 3t plus 5 times sine of 3t plus 5. Okay, part B. The derivative of 3x e to the x minus 2x. Okay, for this one, I'm going to have to use the product rule. So u is 3x, and b is e to the x. So the derivative of u is 3, the derivative of b is e to the x. So derivative of u times b plus the derivative of b times u minus derivative of 2x, which is 2. And c, what I'm going to do is the easiest thing, instead of using the product rule, I'm just going to distribute. So I'm going to write x 1/2 plus 1/3 is 5/6. Remember, you're adding the exponents, plus x to the 1/2 plus 3 is 7/2. So the derivative would be 5/6x. Remember to subtract 1. So if you subtract 1, you get negative 1/6 plus 7/2 x. Again, subtract 1, so you get 5/2.